Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Dem Guys Podcast. We're switching things up this week, so Matt, you're doing the intro.
Wait, what?
Ooh.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Dem Guys Podcast. And we're switching it up this week, and so you're doing the intro.
What do we say next? So are we? I'm SnoShoe.
Yes, you are.
Just following the agenda.
With an exclamation point, introductions. Well, I'm Slash, and Drew started us off.
Yes, I'm Drew. Hello.
So, that was... I'm like, it's so meta, man. The intro was telling me to do the intro, but therefore there was already an intro, so there's no intro for me to do, and my head hurts, and I
didn't know what to do. I talked about 10 seconds earlier than I normally talk in the regular podcast, so...
I just think it's funny because right before we started, Slash played a little clip that said, I was born ready, and then he clearly wasn't ready.
I wasn't ready for that.
No, I wasn't either. I might get out here about 10 seconds early if you guys don't mind. Just don't want to put in...
10 seconds early?
Yeah, I don't want to put in more work than I'm getting paid for.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, it'll all work out. We'll work it out with the timekeeping folks.
Okay,
and,
thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Slash, did you not tell him he's not getting paid?
Just clock me out whenever we hit, whatever the time limit is.
Have you ever seen Office Space, Drew?
No.
Oh, man. See, there's a pop culture reference I want to make, but you're not going to get it. Have you seen Office Space, No?
I have, but I probably won't get your pop culture reference.
Yeah, you are like the stapler guy who...
Oh, like Milton?
They actually had fired, years ago, but they forgot to take him on a payroll. So he was getting a paycheck, and they're when they discovered this in a company-wide, they were evaluating everyone and trying to figure out where to save money, and they discovered that, he had actually been fired, wasn't supposed to be receiving a paycheck. They're like, do we tell him? How do we handle this? And they're like, just stop sending him paychecks, just fix the payroll problem, he'll get the hint. And he never got the hint.
So
he just kept trying to ask people
stapler.
Yeah. He was like, why, I still haven't received my paycheck. So, yeah, it was...
that actually happened.
Hilarious.
There's I think it was on NeoGAF or something like that. There's a forum about the guy called the Forgotten Employee. If you Google the Forgotten Employee, you can read this whole thing. It's probably not safe for work, but I can't really remember. And this guy got hired and never had a manager, and he just sat. I guess he decided he was supposed to be... Somebody said, hey, you're in charge of office place safety one day. And so he was like, wow, okay, apparently that's what I'm doing. And that was 2 months after he started. And so he would just randomly start buying office place safety supplies, but most of the day just sitting around and waiting for somebody to say something to him. It's this long, drawn-out story, and it's fantastic. You should Google it.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah, that's amazing. So, if you have any stories about crazy workplace shenanigans or anything else that you want to send to us, we have an email address for that sort of thing, and it's demguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Delta Echo Mike Golf Uniform Yankee Sierra Papa Oscar Delta Charlie Alpha Sierra Tango @gmail.com.
Bravo!
There's not a B in there.
There's not a what?
There's not a B in there.
I didn't say B. Did I say B?
Yeah, Slash did. Bravo.
Oh. Wow.
Was my response.
What are the chances of that?
That's awesome. I didn't even follow that. That's pretty funny.
Good one, Drew. Good joke.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well, we're also on Twitter @DemGuysPodcast.
I'm not doing that again. @DEMGY. I should probably do that again. It's easier. We'll try it. @Delta Echo Mike Golf Uniform Yankee Sierra Papa Oscar Delta Charlie Alpha Sierra Tango.
Nice.
Thanks.
Very well done. So, yeah. It's not often that I hear the International Phonetic Alphabet in use.
Well, you know.
But I approve.
One of my many hidden talents.
He can spell things using other versions of letters.
I can also say things backwards. It's a fun party trick.
That's
Can you
pretty
say
cool.
Dem Guys Podcast backwards?
Sac dops med.
Close enough.
Not too shabby.
Now, Snow, I just want to know, did you memorize that, or did you have it written down?
No, I have it written down. But a magician never tells his secrets, so I do not have it written down. That was the lie.
SnoShoe is no magician, I think is the lesson there. Well, speaking of magicians, right?
Oh.
There's magicians in Elder Scrolls Online, right? Sort of?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Move on then with that topic.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot that we didn't really reorder this. This was not the first thing I planned on talking about, but okay.
I reordered it, and the two of you didn't pay any attention.
Well,
I watched one of my topics move, and then I just decided to not process that thought.
Okay. So, Elder Scrolls Online. We talked about it a while ago, and it was my opinion that it was a bad game.
Now, to familiarize the listenership, this is the game that took you how long to download?
I mean, I have really bad internet, but it was over 48 hours. I don't remember exactly. Because it was like 20 gigs or something.
It may, in fact, still be downloading. We're not sure.
He hasn't gotten that far in the game to figure out yet.
Maybe that's why my hard drive broke.
It could be.
Okay. So anyway, I don't know why I'm doing this, but for some reason I decided to give it another shot, and not only give it another shot, but give them more of my money. I really don't know why I did this. I mean, I know why, but
I would suspect that the publisher's subliminal messaging advertising scheme has, worked vastly exceeded their expectations.
Yeah. So I got an email a couple of months ago from them, and basically it was so yesterday or tomorrow, depending on yesterday as far as when this podcast comes out.
Indeed.
Elder Scrolls Online Tamriel Unlimited launched, which is it's out for Xbox One and PS4 now. And also they made a lot of changes. Specifically, it's no longer like a monthly payment system to play. It's you buy the game and you can play it.
That's good.
Novel concept.
Yeah.
But anyway, I got an email saying that I could pay, rather than the full $60 for buying the game again for Xbox One, which I wasn't planning on doing, I could spend $20 to transfer my account and everything over to the Xbox One, so that way I had the game on Xbox One and I could play it on there. And I was slightly interested.
Wait, did you get an Xbox One?
My brother has one.
Okay.
We talked about this before.
Yeah, you were playing Destiny on it, right? Okay. I remember.
Yeah. So anyway, and so I asked him, because I knew he really wanted to play it, even though I had told him it wasn't that great. So, I actually got him to pay the $20. So
nice.
Technically I didn't. So it's gonna be, we're both gonna have access to it to play it, and that way he can play it, and I can at least try it again and see if any updates they've done have changed my mind about it. But yeah. So yeah, we'll see. I have very I had very low opinions of this game, and I don't think it's gonna suddenly be amazing now that it's on the Xbox One or something. But
now, how long? Okay, something I've always been interested in with MMOs is like, I feel like the community interaction is such a big deal that they would tend to fail really quickly, right? Like, how are there that many people really playing ESO right now?
I mean, there are quite a few people, and I know a lot of people. I mean, no one I know personally, but just from what I know, even though it seemed like it was sort of a flop, there are a lot of huge Elder Scrolls fans that are still playing it, and I'm sure there are a lot of people that were just waiting for it to come to the PS4 and Xbox One to play it.
Yeah, maybe so. I don't know. I wonder if it feels empty, if it ever gets to that point. I don't know how big the different, sites that you're on or whatever it is. Whatever you call that.
I mean, playing like Guild Wars 2, or I've never played World of Warcraft, but I've seen videos and stuff. Like, it can sometimes, depending on where you are in the world, that might be like a more populated area, it can look like extremely crowded, and that's just like one of many servers that they have for it. So, right. I mean, they could always minimize the number of servers they have and still.
Yeah, I mean, you can load balance everything to where it works out like that.
I mean, there's like There's like 40 or 50 people playing ESO on Twitch right now as we record.
Wow. Okay. I underestimated the popularity.
Yeah, so I mean, even though it doesn't seem very popular, like it's still a big game, and so even though it technically, like, a lot of people would see it as it failed, it's not like it has no community at all, and it's still relatively recent. Just like Watchdogs, like I know that even though it seemed like everybody hated it, there are still people playing it.
You know, that's weird because I played it yesterday.
Why?
I wasn't going to admit it.
You were so anti-Watch Dogs. Why would you put that game back on?
I don't know. It's like Drew gave ESO another chance. I gave Watch Dogs another chance. And the thing is, I really just wanted to sit in front of my TV and just drive around. So I put the game in and was just driving over people. It was kind of fun.
It must be the season for this or something, because I finally got back into Kerbal Space Program just recently, too.
Okay, at least that's a good game.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's
Fair
not
enough.
like you had to give that a second shot. It already was
Right,
good.
it was already good. True. That's where the analogy, or the comparison falls flat, I suppose.
Ooh.
What are you currently doing in KSP? I'm sorry, I don't mean to hijack your topic, Drew.
No, that's cool. I don't care. We can hijack Drew's topic. He has no say in the matter.
Yeah, I actually had a transition, so if you have something to say, go ahead.
All right. In KSP right now, I haven't been playing it for too long, so I haven't left like the immediate vicinity of Kerbin. I just completed a couple of missions where I had to put some satellites in orbit, which was new. I don't remember that having been a thing before the 1.0 version.
Yeah.
And I took a bunch of MUN missions to like do crew reports and temperature readings and stuff like that, and thought that I could be really clever and do a bunch of that in one mission. But they require me to be at a ridiculously low altitude. So I put myself in a polar orbit because I'm like, I can hit all of these sites from a polar orbit. I just have to bide my time. Well, except the maximum time warp I could do is like times 10. That takes for frickin' ever to go once around the MUN. So it didn't work. And then sometimes it doesn't line up. You got to go around a couple more times. So it wasn't the smartest decision ultimately. But
At least you got
that's
that
what I'm
far.
doing.
I've been playing for a little, like, every once in a while, I'll just tell my fiance, hey, I'm gonna go build a rocket, be right back. And I'll go up to my computer, and I'll build a rocket, and I'll try to get in orbit and everything. And so I can fairly constantly now get into orbit around,
Around
Kerbin? That's the name of the Earth, right?
Yep. That's
Okay.
the Earth analog.
So I can orbit around Kerbin. I'm not even close to getting into Moon's orbit yet. I
Yeah.
don't think. I don't know. I don't get to grasp the science of it yet. Like,
gotcha.
really what it takes to build a good rocket. I think I just get lucky every once in a while, and then I don't ever want to change my design. Do you have, like, a set design you keep going back to?
I did for a little while. It's kind of funny, actually. You starting the podcast off spelling things with the phonetic alphabet. That was my naming convention for my series of rockets. The very first one was Alpha 1, and then when I created a variation of that, I made it Alpha 2, but when I started with a brand new design, it was Bravo 1.
Okay. Gotcha.
And so I got to a point where my MUN missions were being done with Echo 2. So it was my fifth redesign of a rocket, since I had started in career mode. And I'm now on to Foxtrot 1, which, it's the first one that I've done that uses the fuel lines to do what they call the asparagus staging.
Oh, wow. That sounds so advanced. I don't even know what you're saying
It's actually, it's not that bad, and it's a great way to efficiently get larger mass into orbit. Basically what you do is, you use liquid fuel, like boosters, right? You like strap on liquid fuel stacks on the sides of the rocket like you would the solid rocket boosters.
Right.
And then I do them in pairs. So I'll have like the central column, and then I'll have a pair of boosters, and then I'll do like another pair of boosters instead of four-way symmetry, two pairs.
Right.
But it looks like four-way symmetry.
Yeah.
And by doing it that way, I grab a fuel line, and I run it from the second pair to the first pair, and then from the first pair to the center. And then what happens is, as you're going up, the fuel flows from the first set of boosters to the second set of boosters to the inside. So the boosters drain a bit faster than they would otherwise because they're feeding half their fuel back into the center. But whenever you jettison those when they're empty, you have full fuel tanks feeding the engines that you still have going. As opposed to having them burning simultaneously.
Right.
And so it extends the length of the burn that you can get out of your, like, to-orbit stack. You know, the stuff that's underneath whatever you're trying to get up into orbit, into whatever other location in the solar system you're trying to get to.
Okay. I'm going to have to try some asparagus later.
Yeah. It may make your fuel turn kind of like a neon color.
Does it smell
worry
funny?
about that. And it smells funny a little bit, but you know, just move on through that and you'll be fine.
Okay.
It's not rocket threatening.
Duly noted.
And the other tip that I'd give you is I actually spent a decent investment into the space plane area to start off, because some of those missions for charting around Kerbin can come in handy for getting some early science if you invest a little bit of time into building just a basic plane.
Gotcha. I'm still in creative mode, so, you know.
Oh, okay.
Or sandbox mode.
Right. Cool.
So,
transition out of that, will ya?
Well, so I watched a video last week. It was really funny. It was a bunch of guys who had either never played or barely played Kerbal Space Program. No clue what they're doing. And they decided to have a race to see who could get into space first.
Whose video was this?
It was Funhouse.
Okay, just checking. I watched a Node video. That's pretty similar.
Okay. Yeah, it was Funhouse and Achievement Hunter. And, but it was on Funhouse channel. Anyway, so they're just seeing who could get into space first. And it ended up being a contest of just who could get the highest. Because that's how bad it was. But, one of the guys had one of the funniest things I've ever seen. He had like a 2-stage thing where he had 3 smaller rockets sort of on the outside, like around it. And then I guess, whenever those came off or whatever, then he had like a central rocket that was bigger. So, he went to launch it, and 3 outer rockets start going, but it doesn't actually have enough power to lift it. And then suddenly, those 3 rockets just take off on their own, not attached to the main vessel.
Yeah, that happens if you stage too early.
Yep.
That happens so many times.
So that was really funny. And then the second one, like the main one, went off, and it lifted like a tiny little bit, and then just fell over, and there was a big explosion, which led to Fallout.
Nice, well done. Into the next topic.
Fallout 4. It's official. It's so exciting. Did you guys watch the trailer?
Yeah,
I did not.
I did.
Honestly, the main reason I'm excited, like Fallout 3, I haven't even beat that yet. Like I'm still working my way through that. And that's still really cool and everything.
Yeah, I mean that's okay. The game only came out 7 years ago.
Yeah, I mean I borrowed it from my friend when he went to college like 2 years ago.
And never gave it back.
Well, he's still going to college, you know. So, anyway, yeah. But, so, like, story-wise and everything, I'm excited because I think it'll be improved and graphics will be improved and everything. But honestly, the main thing I'm excited about is it's colorful.
Yeah.
Fallout 3 was just like everything was tan and gray. Like there was practically no color in the game at all. And it's so dreary to look at. And Fallout 4 in the trailer, it shows like there's like vehicles have color. Like even just like the old destroyed one sitting by the side of the road, you can still see like little bits of paint and stuff.
Yeah, I mean when you watch whatever the dog is, I don't know if it's dog meat or some other dog, go up to the baby crib and like the first thing you see is that bright blue baby crib. You're like, oh wow, it's not dreary.
Yeah. And so supposedly it's taking place 10 years after Fallout 3, I think. That's what I heard somewhere. I don't know how accurate that is, but it's going to be in Boston, and you're apparently from Vault 111, which I don't remember what the vault was in.
It's Fallout 101.
Fallout 3, 101. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, so I'm excited to see what happens with that. I'm kind of dreading. I'm sure that's like the big announcement that Bethesda has like a whole conference for at E3 and everything.
It's got to be. I mean, what else
Yeah.
are they going to be doing?
Exactly. I'm kind of dreading the release date. I'm worried it's going to be something like December 2016 or something like that.
No. There's actually breaking news currently about this, that currently if you look on Amazon, it's got a release date of December 31st, 2015.
Ooh.
But that's not necessarily the release date. They say that's just a placeholder. Like, it's not actually going
Right.
to come out on December 31st. But the fact that they put it on December 31st, 2015 means that it will more than likely come out earlier than that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah. So everything looks like it's going to come out 2015, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything. What do I know? Believe me.
So this leads me to I know I'm super excited for this, but this leads me to a question. E3 is coming up next week, and I was wondering, do you guys have any games that you've have been kind of announced, but they haven't really released any details or whatever, that you know pretty much for sure they'll be showing off at E3 that you're excited about?
I don't really follow E3 in general. I leave it up to everybody else to get excited, then tell me the stuff that I should be excited about.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't been keeping up, but you know me. I'm not as much into monitoring the up and coming games as other folks can be. So
Well, I'm sure we'll have like an E3 special podcast, pretty much.
I would
guess
imagine, yeah.
So it starts on Sunday, so it'll be our next podcast. We'll talk about it.
Yep.
It's kind of crazy. I'm looking forward to Star Fox. They've got to tell us more about Star Fox, I think.
Yeah, I'm curious to see where that goes. I'm not gonna own the console that it'll be on, but I still I mean if it comes out on 3DS, then I could play it on there, but most likely it'll be a Wii U thing or
Good. I need more games for the Wii U. Although that's how I feel like Wii U probably has more games than half of the other consoles currently. There's only 2 other consoles than both of the other consoles.
than half of the other consoles, specifically the PS4.
I feel like none of them have really had that flagship. I mean, if you look at Xbox One, we've talked about this so many times, but Xbox One, what's the flagship currently? Probably Destiny?
Yeah, probably. Well,
Probably,
no,
No.
because actually, Bungie specifically, I don't know if it's because they were with Microsoft for all those years. Bungie, honestly, they had it so that there were certain like bonuses and stuff that PS4 got before Xbox One. So I feel like Destiny is almost more of a PS4 thing.
I guess that's true. I forgot it came out for the PS4. So
I mean, Halo 5 has been announced.
yeah, and how long has the
but it's
Xbox
not
One
out
been
yet.
out? Like a
Yeah,
year?
I mean they have the Master Chief Collection, which everybody says doesn't work online, so that kind of sucks.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's any. I know when it came out, Sunset Overdrive was like really popular and big. I don't know if that was Xbox One exclusive. And then they have stuff like Forza Horizon 2, and like Forza 5 and
I
things
mean,
like that.
the console's been out for so long, and there's just nothing that even now makes me want to buy it.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I find myself wishing, hey, I wish I had a Xbox One or a PlayStation 4. But I'm like, why? What would I do with it?
Yeah.
The only reason is to play NBA games.
Yeah, well, it looks like probably a lot of these new games that are being announced this year, though, are going to be, like, I think at the bottom of the trailer for Fallout 4, like at the end, besides the, like, company logos and stuff, it did just say PS4 and Xbox One. It didn't, have, like, a 360 or PS3, which doesn't surprise me. So I might need to get one of the new consoles to be able to play that.
Then you're just talking next gen exclusive, which that would kind of make me want to get it, but I don't know. I'd have to play the first 3 Fallouts. Well, probably not the first 3. The first one came out in like 97 or something, didn't it?
Yeah, well, and Fallout 1 and 2 are, from what I understand, they're very different.
Yeah. I think the first one came out in 97 and the second one came out in 98.
Are they even made by Bethesda?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so...
But Bethesda didn't make New Vegas either.
They didn't?
Nope.
I thought it was just Todd Howard's team didn't do that, but...
Nope, that was Obsidian.
Okay.
See, and that's funny that you bring up New Vegas because, while I'm not really following the Fallout news myself, I have seen a fair number of people online that would have been said that they would be more excited about another Fallout New Vegas than for Fallout 4.
Yeah, a lot of people, I think that's the weird thing, is that I was looking at it today because I was interested. Whenever I found out that Obsidian Bethesda did the last two, I was like, well, okay, Bethesda's doing the newest one, so which one do people like more? It turned out everybody liked New Vegas more.
Yeah.
Like, everybody said that what I was reading constantly was Fallout 3 was a better post-apocalyptic game, but Fallout New Vegas was a better game in general, and they like created a universe around Fallout. So
yeah,
it'll
but
be
I
interesting to see
feel
what
like
Bethesda does.
Yeah.
I feel like Bethesda has learned from that though, and like they've done. I mean, Oblivion was before Fallout 3, I think, but I mean, they've done Skyrim and stuff since then, and this is going to be on the Skyrim engine, so
Yeah.
we'll have to see.
Yeah. So they're saying right now, like September, October 2015, potentially, but we'll probably know at E3, honestly, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah. There's a couple of other things that are potentials for E3 that I'm at least intrigued by. Supposedly, I mean, they've been hinting at it, like it's definitely gonna be a thing. We just don't know if they're really revealing it at E3. But a new Mass Effect game that it's not about Commander Shepard, like it's a completely new story, but it's still based in the same universe. So that could be interesting. I really like the Mass Effect games, so.
Yeah, I can't get into Mass Effect. It's too much reading, but I know how you like reading.
And then something I'd never heard of, but I actually just saw a trailer for a couple of days ago, like as an ad before a video. There's apparently a new game from Gearbox that's very similar to Borderlands, and it's like kind of their new. It looks like it's kind of going to be their new IP, that it's similar to Borderlands a little bit. I don't know. I don't even remember what it's called. I'm trying to let me look up. But yeah, it's
Battleborn?
Yes.
That's
it. Which the name also I thought was interesting because that Two Step song just came out.
Right.
3
yeah.
podcasts in a row. We've talked about.
It's because it's so good. But yeah, so it just says it's a shooter. I thought it almost looked like it could be more of an MMO, like online co-op style, from the trailer, but I don't know for sure. Because I mean the Borderlands games did also have like classes and stuff.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It almost has like a Team Fortress type feeling to it. I don't know.
Yeah.
why.
Yeah, no. So I'm curious to see what that'll be like. Okay. I guess unless you guys have something else to talk about with E3, we can move on.
I don't think so. Oh, I was going to mention, this is, I think, the first E3 that there's potential for the general public to get access to.
Oh, really?
Which is weird to me. But yeah, apparently E3 is giving some of the bigger developers tickets or passes or whatever it is, and the developers are able to pass them out as they choose. So I think it's Square Enix or something. They have a Twitter contest, or I don't even know how it's working right now, going on, and they're saying, hey, retweet this or whatever it is, and you'll have a chance to possibly win. I don't think like the actual terms have been hashed out yet of how they're allowed to dole them out.
Isn't it in a week?
Yeah.
So...
I don't know. I looked at it like a week ago, so it may have already been finished, but I've heard varying opinions on that too, because it's weird. There's a lot of journalists and people whose job it is to actually do that stuff at E3, right?
Right.
But if you allow all kinds of people onto the floor trying to play these games, that'd be like somebody coming to your office and just like poking your computer every couple of minutes.
I mean, well, it's probably. I mean, first of all, it's probably not like they're just like letting. Like it's not going to be like PAX where there's like thousands of fans or whatever. It's probably like, if they are doing this, it's probably going to be like a couple hundred or something, and it'll be just like a special thing that these people get to go and see this. And I mean, I'm sure some of these people that manage to get in are gonna be like YouTube vloggers or whatever that like professionally they wouldn't be able to do this, but they're like because it's not actually their official job or whatever, but they'll be able to get in and show some stuff on their YouTube channel or whatever.
Well, I know they already have, like, you can get, a lot of the Minecraft guys get passes to E3, but I think this is actually, like, anybody can win these. I don't know. I'll do more research and tell you about it in our next E3
yeah, especially
podcast.
just the fact that it's so soon. I doubt it's just like suddenly like, hey, general public, you can come buy tickets. Like, I think it is going to be very exclusive still.
Could be. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree, though. I think it sounds weird.
Yeah.
It's something completely different from what people are used to when they talk about E3, so...
Yeah, there's such good online coverage of it, besides actually playing the games. You're just going to stand in line and watch the same thing you would online. Like, it's not like PAX where there's... Well, I guess there's probably a good showroom or something, but I don't think it's as big. Like, I don't think it's as catered towards impressing the journalists.
Yeah.
I think it's catered towards announcements, not necessarily hands-on stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. That does seems odd, but I guess we'll see how it turns out. I'm sure we'll get plenty of post-analysis of that along with everything else that happens at E3, and we'll get to talk about that in the next podcast.
Woo!
So,
Yay.
All right, well, I don't have any kind of transition, but I wanted to talk about, I've talked about Dragonball Xenoverse previously here on the podcast, and the latest DLC, the third pack, released, I think, yesterday, June 9th, is the official release date for the US. Now, as of this recording, I went to go play it like 2-3 hours ago on the 8th, and it said there was an update to download. So I'm wondering if that update contains the DLC and whether the DLC is actually unlockable or not, because it could have been June 9th according to Japan, so I don't know. As you're listening to this, I might even be playing it as we speak. But
is it actually going to be downloadable content?
Well, hopefully. I mean, I ran into, when I went to install the update earlier, apparently my PlayStation's address on my local network changed, and so it wasn't on the DMZ anymore, and the 300 megabyte update corrupted the 6.5 gigabyte install on my hard drive, so I had to reconfigure my network and try to get the PlayStation back on the DMZ so that the download would work properly, because reasons, I guess, I don't know. But and that was still going by the time I sat down here to start talking to you guys, so I have no idea what the state of that is in. I'm sure it's going to download, and then I'm going to go to launch it, and it's going to go, there's an update. I'm going to have to re-go through that process again. But apparently it's going to be kind of weird, because this DLC is available in the US prior to the movie the DLC's content is based upon or drawing from becomes available to watch in the US. Is it
like spoilers?
It would be, yeah. I mean, it's the movie that released in Japan relatively recently was it was Dragon Ball Z: The Resurrection of F being Frieza in this case. And it was sort of a follow-on movie from Battle of Gods, which was the last one, which I guess they put out in 2013, I think, was the release date for that one. And a lot of that content is also that's in the base game in Dragon Ball Xenoverse, but this Resurrection of F content is coming down in this DLC 3-pack, and I mean, the DLCs have had story mode based stuff that has to do with changing the history of what's happened, so I can only presume that they're essentially going to be doing an abridged version of the movie, and whatever actions might have been able to be changed in that history to make it turn out in favor of the bad guys instead of the good guys. So it's odd because you get to play this pack and experience this content before you technically get to see the movie. I'm sure a lot of fans have managed to find subtitled versions or whatever of the original Japanese film to get caught up, but I'm sure there's plenty of folks that will have no idea where this story even came from. Might not even be aware that there's a movie behind it all. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it anyway. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
That's strange. Are you still playing that one with your son?
I am. Yeah, he's
tapered off.
He's been playing it pretty good. He's up somewhere in the 30s, I think, level wise, maybe low 40s.
You're like 95.
I'm currently at level 84. Level 85 is
Oh.
the cap.
Close.
So I have like 500,000 experience or something crazy like that I have to get before I'll go to level 85 and finish off that character. And then at that point I plan to create a brand new character because there's like something like 10 character slots. So once you beat story mode with your character that you create when you first start playing the game, it unlocks the ability to create other characters, and they inherit all of the stuff. So anything that you've unlocked with that initial character in that first playthrough becomes available to additional characters. So the moves that you got from parallel quests and stuff, you are automatically available to be equipped, and all the clothes and stuff.
So it's just going to be this super weak guy with these super awesome moves?
Basically, yeah. And it's funny because Pungence is doing, it used to be a daily series, I think it's every other day now, of Dragonball Xenoverse, and he had started a new character, and in his second episode with the new character, he revealed a tip that somebody had given him in the comments on how to level his character up quickly. He had gotten, in the first episode, he had gone from level 1 to level 4, because you level up pretty quickly anyway at the beginning, because you don't need a whole lot of XP. It's an exponential curve. But then the trick was, you have access to all of the parallel quests and all of the story mode stuff as well. You don't have to like re-go through story mode with this character. So he went to, there's a parallel quest right near the end of the list. I think it's like 54 or something, that involves running around the battle map and collecting Dragon Balls. And Broly, who's this, if you're not familiar with Dragon Ball Z, Broly's this like super tough. He was the original legendary Super Saiyan, and he would completely pummel a level 4 character. But he shows up while you're supposed to collect these Dragon Balls. But all you have to do to finish the quest at its base form is collect 3 Dragon Balls. You don't have to battle at all in this one, but you get tons of experience for it because it's a high level difficulty parallel quest. So he did this, and when he came out of it, he went from level 4 to level 15 with the investment of like 2 minutes of time flying around a map picking up Dragon Balls.
Crazy.
So, and then he did it a second time, and I think he went to like level 22. So it's pretty ridiculous how quickly you can get a low level character caught up if you know the tricks. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we typically, I'll play it for a while in single player, and then he'll grab a controller and we'll play some local multiplayer duels, and I could definitely tell his skills are improving with the game. It's becoming harder and harder for me to be able to beat him, because I handicap myself by forcing myself to play whatever random character shows up when I press the random select button. And so sometimes I get these super weak characters, and then he's always going for like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, or or like Super Saiyan 3 Gotenks, like super overpowered characters.
When you said his skills are improving, I just pictured you like wearing like Jedi Master robes.
Just like floating above his chair while playing.
Yep. Just look
is this my transition?
Yourself.
Well,
sure. Go ahead.
You guys like Legos?
I love Legos. I think Legos
Me
are
too.
amazing.
Do you guys like computer games?
I love computer
They're
games.
okay.
I think computer games are amazing.
Well, the geniuses at Lego have combined them, and they've probably done it before, but they're doing it again.
Yeah.
Into a game called Lego Worlds. It's finally, Lego has, I don't know if they've been developing it this whole time or if they've just waited to pick their spot.
For the past 20 years, yeah.
Yeah, it's Minecraft in Lego.
Basically, yeah. Again, going back to Pungence, he started playing this recently. It's in early access, right, on Steam.
I don't know if it's technically labeled early access or not.
I mean, I heard something like they decided to release it as early access. I mean, their reasoning was basically the same as what Mojang said when they released Minecraft early. Was just they wanted people to be able to play it and help improve it.
Yeah. Take it in a direction.
I mean, this game is so much more polished than Minecraft, though. I'm not saying I honestly don't think I would like it as much if I did buy it, but the polish level isn't even close.
Right. Well, I mean, it's funny.
It looks pretty cool.
I equated it more to Cube World. It has that sort of feel to it in terms of the way the terrain is generated and the just the general sort of graphics on it remind me a lot of Cube World.
So Cube World at least had kind of some more directive quests, right?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I think you had to stumble on them a little bit. It could be as open world as you wanted it to be. And I think, from what I understand, Lego Worlds doesn't have any kind of. It's entirely sandbox at this point.
Yeah, it's completely creative mode right now. I don't know if they're ever going to create anything else, but I mean, you can just all of a sudden pop up and build a castle in the middle of what you're doing. So it's definitely not for me yet, but maybe whenever they add some more stuff to it, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, it seems very, very interesting, and I was really impressed with how mutable they did make the world. Like at one point in his first video, Pungence found like a car that had a drill on it, and he could just drill down under, like dig a tunnel under the world, and it was changing the world. It was it was drilling this tunnel, and it just really impressed me that was something that they were able to do, make the world as mutable as that without having to resort to making it blocks like Minecraft does.
Right, yeah, I mean, in that way, it looks so much more polished, and every little piece of the world is a Lego, so when you break something, you just see Legos fly around. But
I mean, it seems like the sort of thing I think that is going to suit Lego very well, because I mean their demographic is going to be the younger kids. They like bringing in the adults and the teens and stuff, but I think like my son, he's turning 8. I think it's perfectly targeted towards him.
Yeah.
Like I can see him sitting down and just loving the fact that he can tool around in this sandboxy world and like, oh, here's a dragon. I'm going to hop on the dragon. Hey, now I'm on a dragon riding around breathing fire on people, like just whatever
it feels like.
doing. Yeah.
There's so much that's not limited by your that is only limited by your imagination, whereas Minecraft, you kind of have to, I don't know, I'm kind of a person that wants to feel like I've progressed through a game.
Right.
Whenever I'm done playing it for 4 hours or whatever it is. Like, if I'm in survival, I want to feel like, okay, I got diamonds, we're good. But if I play creative Minecraft for a while, I'm just like, really? I just built this thing and I don't even like it? Okay, great.
Yeah.
I hate myself.
So, to each his own, but we'll see if it picks up any kind of momentum as it goes on. How much? I think it's like $35 or something right now.
Really?
Yeah,
I thought I heard it was only like 15 or something.
I don't know. You can look it up while I talk
15
about.
feels like too much, and 35 feels like, or 15 feels like not enough, and 35 feels like too much. So maybe it's like 25, based on my personal opinion.
It's probably similar to Minecraft. Would be my guess, but.
Well,
on Steam, yeah, $14.99.
There we go. I was right.
Dang it.
Well, since I was right, can I tell a story real quick? It's Lego.
You have earned your passage, yes.
Sweet.
Boo.
So yeah, you're talking about like that. It's like targeting mainly kids who play with Legos and stuff. I just thought it was really funny. Last week when I played D&D, one of my friends, I don't know why he did this, but one of my friends who plays with us had bought all of us like just those little like, I don't know, they're like tiny little Lego sets. There's probably like 30 pieces in it or something. And they're just like little cars or things like that. And he just bought little tiny Lego sets for all of us. And we ended up delaying playing D&D for like almost an hour because we all built our Lego sets. And then my DM had got his box of Legos that he had sitting in a closet, and we were trying to like create our characters from D&D with Legos, and that was really fun. I forgot how much fun it is to just like have a physical, rather than like playing Minecraft or something, like have a physical Lego brick in your hand and just like build something.
How much pain it is. You probably forgot about that too.
It's only a pain if you accidentally put something in the wrong space and it's like a really flat piece. When I was younger, we had a brick remover, which
I had one of those too. I was pretty into I would build like life scale models of things. Like I would just look at my trash can and try to build a model of my trash can.
Oh wow.
But it would all just fall apart pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, speaking as the member of the podcast who has small children, Legos are only really a pain when you're trying to walk through a room and they're still on the floor.
I've heard people say that stepping barefoot on a Lego like in the dark at night is like
birthing a child.
It's worse than
death.
It's
worse than death.
It's like that and like the end of an electrical cord.
Right, yeah, with the little prongs,
those two are like the worst possible feelings your feet can.
Or the thing that is in the middle of the belt, the floppy thing. You ever stepped on one of those?
I have
terrible.
not.
What's that called?
I know what you mean.
Yeah, the little thing that goes through the hole, the metal piece on your belt.
The buckle.
That thing's flipped up and you step
talking
on it.
about
No,
the
but
buckle? Oh, you're
he
talking
means like the
tongue.
specific part of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, try stepping on that. You'll cry.
All right.
Yep.
So that was my story.
It's called a prong, by the way.
A prong.
Yep, the
That sounds
frame
about
and
right.
prong.
Yeah, it feels like a prong.
Wikipedia to the rescue.
Well, I played Banished.
That's interesting. What
Yeah.
do you have to say for yourself regarding
I
that
actually
topic?
really liked it. My first playthrough, so it was pretty popular a while ago, maybe, I don't know,
I
8
feel
months
like
ago,
I
9
should
months
know
ago?
what that is.
You don't know what Banished is?
Well, I feel like I should, but I can't think of what it is off the top of my head.
It's a pretty big YouTube game, not too long ago, but it's kind of like
okay.
a simulation city builder type game that's... I don't really know
Yeah,
why
it's
it's
like
called
if you don't
Banished.
manage your resources, your
Yeah.
whole town can like starve to death really easily.
You manage your resources and everything, but you more of manage the people, I've found. So I guess it's called Banished because all of these people are somehow banished. I don't know. There's no story to it. I don't know why it's called Banished. I think they just tried to come up with a clever name, but they never explain why the people are banished or
I don't know,
if
it
they
kind
are
of sounds like
banished.
you're building Australia to me.
Yeah, kind of. So you start off on this land, and there's on every seed, I think there's a river, a big river that goes through your land, and so trade people can come through that river. And anyway, there's all kinds of different buildings you build, like tailors to keep your people warm with clothes, and you build houses. And as your people progress, they have children, as is natural.
I was going to
Don't
say,
wanna
as they
surprise
do.
Yeah. And so you're growing your population and everything, and there's certain things they need, like they really need to stay warm, they really need to eat, and what's the other thing they need? I don't know. It's probably a bad thing that I can't remember it. It's probably why they all died. So I played for like an entire night, probably 6 hours or something. Made it through most of the game. I got most of the higher level stuff, but you really just want to grow your city after that point. I don't think I ever got above 20 people in my city. And then something happened, which is not a natural phenomenon. The kids would not move out of their parents' house. And
It's like all of them?
yeah,
They
all
staged
just stayed
to sit in.
They all just stayed in the same house for their whole lives, and you can't actually tell individual villagers or whatever they are to do things. You can tell them what their job is, and they'll go do their job, but you can't tell them, hey, you need to move to this house, hey, you need to go over here. They just have a main overall objective. So I couldn't get them to move out of their house, and so therefore nobody would ever go find a mate to have a baby with, and they all just grew up and died in their houses, and my population died of old age.
Your population died of antisocialness.
They did. It was terrible.
I wasn't picturing that. I wasn't picturing that they couldn't find a mate. For whatever reason, that didn't come up in my mind. What happened in my mind was they kept populating, and eventually the house overflowed.
Yeah, that did happen once. I had a homeless person. That may have been the Kickstarter to all this. Everybody was like, "Nope, we're not leaving the house. We've seen what happens." Well, this guy left the house. He never found another one. But I made them all houses. It just they. I was like trying to get a guy and a girl to be the same profession so that they'd like start liking each other or something. It didn't work.
Bonding at work.
Yeah. I was like, you guys can both be stonecutters, and then it turns out a rock fell on one of them and they died, and I was like, well, that's a tragedy.
Maybe one of you couldn't be a stonecutter, actually.
This is just like The Notebook. I didn't actually see that movie, so it's probably not like The Notebook. Anyway, that game was pretty fun, though. I think I'm going to take it for another go-around and see it. I think I did pretty well in my first playthrough. It's not one that you tremendously fail. Like, my population grew to about 20, and then I realized I overextended everything, and so they all started running out of food pretty quickly. So, like, 9 of them died. And then we started growing again, and then they all died. So, I'll probably take it for another one. But I'd recommend it. I think it's only like $4 on Steam right now.
Wow.
Although I've been wrong before in this podcast. So.
Yeah,
Also-
in recent memory.
Drew, you can tell us how much it is while I talk about something else that has to do with Steam. The Steam controller was officially made available to the public, I think 4 days ago or something like that, as of the time of recording.
Cool.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's kind of the controller that's meant to go with the Steam boxes, or if you're using Steam Link, which is their service that you can stream the games from your computer to your TV and just sit on your couch and play computer games, which is cool.
Yeah.
But it's weird. It has one joystick and a D-pad and like a mouse pad. You're supposed to be able to play computer games with this controller as if you're using a mouse.
That's odd. I don't see that happening.
Yeah.
So I watched a couple reviews and people weren't too thrilled about it, but I was wondering, I don't know, is there ever going to be a replacement for a mouse? I mean, did they really just create the end of that kind of technology? I know people use trackballs or whatever it is, but...
Trackballs suck.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
agree.
reason to ever use a trackball.
Actually, my brother-in-law has one on his mouse, and that's all he uses. And I tried using it, and it's I like the concept, but it's just it felt weird. But
Yeah, you really
especially
get used to it.
if you have like very limited space, like if you're using it with a laptop,
Right.
it's useful.
Yeah.
Okay, is it a trackball that you use with your thumb or your fingers? 'Cause
Yes,
I think there's
thumb.
both. Thumb?
Mm-hmm.
It'd probably lead to arthritis.
I feel like you ever see Lady in the Water?
Yes,
No.
that was a great movie.
The dude with the one buff arm. I feel like your thumb, like your trackball thumb, would turn out that way. It's just so much more beefy than your other thumb.
The Skittles commercial where they're like,
Yeah,
"Sell it the
that's-
usual way."
Yeah, I've seen the Skittles commercial.
I forgot about that one. Yeah, that's a more recent reference.
Lady in the Water, though, what a movie.
Yeah.
Kid reads prophecies off the back of cereal boxes. How far M. Night Shyamalan has fallen.
Wow. Okay. So the results are in, and Banished is $19.99 on Steam.
What? No way. Okay, Steam Summer Sale is coming up starting next week. You can probably buy it for $4.
Yeah, that's that was gonna be my next thing. I remembered that the summer sale is coming up, so that's exciting.
There you have it.
I feel like I
Although-
bought it for $5. I probably did.
I think I bought all the games that I could ever want to play on my computer last year during the
Yeah.
Steam summer sale.
Snow, when you bought it for $5, did it happen to be like from the inside of some guy's trench coat on the sidewalk?
You know, it
or-
was. This guy showed up at work and he just threw it at me. Said, "Give me money."
It's like, hey, you want some Banished?
you want some Banished?
I'll
Got
take
some
one
fresh
Banished,
Banished right
please.
here.
Yeah.
That's
But
very
the
amusing.
controller, speaking of price points, is $50. I don't know who's really going to fork over $50 for something like this. I mean, I'm intrigued just because of maybe replacing a mouse, but that still gets me back to the point. I'm looking at my little Dell mouse right now. This thing's probably $3, but can we not actually get
Yeah.
better technology than this?
Yeah, and I spent I think I spent like $30 on my wired Xbox 360 controller. So like I use my mouse and keyboard for some games, and then I'll plug in my 360 controller for other games like first-person shooters and stuff. And yeah, that's I don't
It's
know.
crazy. I mean, since whoever invented the mouse, I think it was Apple, wasn't it?
Probably, yeah.
I'm pretty sure Apple invented the mouse in the 80s or whatever it was. I'm still using the exact same thing except as a laser instead of a ball.
Right, and more buttons. I think the first mouse was like a button.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because that's something that I teased Apple users for years about. Was I've got like 2 or 3 more buttons than you do on my mouse.
Well, I have 3 buttons currently and a scroll wheel. So I guess we've evolved a little bit, but you can go buy a Razer mouse that has a couple more buttons for a couple more $100.
I mean, it
If you
just
like it.
seems. I don't know. I mean, there's other technologies out there. There's like quote unquote 3D mice that some folks use. That it's like it's on like a boom system where basically you're grabbing a point and you can move it about in 3D space, and it moves your cursor around in a projection of 3D space. This is for like animators and stuff who use that sort of hardware.
Yeah, it's like something Iron Man uses.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, that sort of stuff exists, and you could conceive of that as being the next generation of mouse. But I think it's just I think they just hit it out of the park. Like, it's a very simple, intuitive interface. It doesn't take long to pick up, and yeah,
That's crazy to me.
it's
But
it's
the
pretty
Steam
nuts.
the Steam controller tries. I think it's got some cool features, but I just don't think you're ever going to be able to create a two handheld device that works like a mouse. You need the
Right.
Surface.
Yeah, I agree with you there. So I don't know. I don't see the appeal of the Steam controller. I mean, if I'm gonna play a computer game that I can't use a controller for, that I have to do like a keyboard and mouse type thing, then I'm gonna use a keyboard and mouse. I'm not gonna
exactly.
look for a controller that will emulate some parts of that. I just don't see how that would be feasible. So I don't know.
I mean, I can see the draw. You want to sit on your couch and play it. I feel so much more comfortable sitting in my living room playing games on my PlayStation than I do playing on my computer. But
I think that's what they're trying to market towards.
yeah,
Well, time will tell how well it does. I think it'll disappear. Honestly, I don't think it's going to stick around very long.
yeah, I would think so too. But it's interesting. If you do get to sit on your couch, sometimes maybe your computer's on a desk which might be in front of a window, and so you have to wear a shirt. But whenever you're on your couch, you don't even have to wear a shirt.
True. Yeah, that's a true observation.
But if you don't have a shirt and you need one, daughter is selling some.
Oh, fantastic!
So,
how
from
convenient.
Iceland.
So
How quickly
right.
do I need said shirt?
okay, so daughter designed some CarnisTerra shirts, and I honestly wish we had done the Dem Guy shirts this way, because then she would have gotten some of the money for it.
Right.
But because for the Dem Guys shirts that we have, like, she just sent me a design. I posted it on a shirt on a website and had them send it to me, and so she didn't get any money for it, which she's told me is fine. But I still, now that I hadn't even thought of this option, and I love this idea. So, daughter who did our art and has been a pretty good member of the listenership for a while now. Pretty good as in she listens to a lot of episodes. Has made shirts for CarnisTerra, which was formerly the Vintage Beef fan server.
Mm-hmm.
And she's selling them. And I know that people who aren't members of CarnisTerra probably won't necessarily care to buy them, but I was very excited, and I actually bought a hoodie.
Did you?
I need a new hoodie, and I really like the design.
I think I'm gonna buy one. I don't know. She's selling them on two places, on Teespring and on whatever that other one is.
Yeah, Teespring. I believe she gets more money for it, but that's actually, it's kind of like a campaign or whatever, so it's only during the certain amount of time.
Right.
That's unfortunate because the other ones look better, I think. Teespring, you can only get like 2 or 3 colors.
Yeah, the other ones, there are more options and stuff, but
yeah. The coolest thing, though, is that I came up with that word, and now it's on a t-shirt.
That is true. I hadn't even thought about it that way. That's really cool.
I don't know if it's the coolest thing.
I think it's probably the coolest thing out of this entire t-shirt ordeal, is that I came up with it.
I mean, Slash came up with Dem Guys, and that's on a t-shirt.
This is true. Yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, I wasn't going to bring it up.
Whatever. I'm more impressed with Llama Plop.
Frickin' Llama Plop.
We should make shirts.
Llama Plop shirts.
I went to the Llama Plop and all I got was this Lottie's t-shirt.
Alright, so another thing that happened this week, besides shirts coming out, is I watched Daredevil, finally.
This is the
whole
Netflix
season?
series you're talking about, right?
Yeah, this is the Netflix series. It's been out for I don't know how long now, like a month or two.
2 months. Came out in April. I looked it up before the podcast. I did my homework.
Woohoo!
All right. That's okay. I looked up a video of Lego World, so I knew what that was. So anyway, yeah, I'd held off. I didn't really have a reason for holding off. I just hadn't started watching it yet, and the rest of my family watched it already. And like, I knew a lot of people were really excited about it online, but I didn't know how I was gonna feel about it, because Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and like other Marvel shows like that, I quickly lost interest in, just because it felt like they were trying to be as big as like the Avengers movies, but with a much smaller budget, and on just like trying to do a continuous episodic story.
Yeah, I think I agree with you there.
But Daredevil was actually really, really good. Now, I do also know some people who they take like some of their smaller children to see the Avengers movie. Daredevil is absolutely not for a younger audience.
Right.
It's rated mature, and there's a very good reason. There are some very, very brutal scenes where there's a lot of blood and people getting their faces smashed into little bits and
Little bits?
yeah.
What? How do you get your face smashed into little bits?
Yeah, they're too. I mean, the whole show is very violent. But there are two specific scenes that I can think of that were extremely brutal. That, like, even for me, like, I enjoy watching. Like, I watch a lot of war movies and stuff, and those were a little much.
I think I'm gonna watch it between the next podcast. So I will review it with you.
Okay.
Next
Yeah,
time as well.
I thought it was a very good show overall, though.
Is it more? So it's more of a crime centered show, right?
Yeah, they actually
Obviously, it's a superhero.
they barely mention the Avengers or anything, even though it does take place in the same universe and everything. But yeah, it's kind of a mix of like a superhero show with like a detective show, which is actually very awesome because I like a lot of like cop detective shows.
I agree.
So.
I think that's why I'm gonna watch it because it always reminds me of some kind of show I'd like. But I don't really like comic book shows, honestly. So maybe this will break me into it.
It's funny. I watched the first maybe 5 or 6 episodes of it, and I actually lost interest. I couldn't keep a consistent desire to follow the show. I don't know. It was good. There's nothing really wrong with it. I guess maybe I just wasn't in the mood for that genre of storytelling.
I mean, it is very dark.
Yeah.
So.
Wait, I have a question.
All right, fire away.
It's from A Million Monkeys.
Oh, okay.
It's questions time.
Woo!
Okay, is this the same layout that we've been using for questions, or is this...
It's the same one we used last episode.
Okay. Part 13. Questions. Part 13, subpart 1. A Million Monkeys. Part 13, subpart 1, subpart 1. Hey guys, if you could hire one person to work for you full-time, like a personal chef, personal trainer, groundskeeper, chauffeur, housekeeper, etc., which would you choose and why? It doesn't... Get your cursor away from this question. It doesn't have to be one of the ones I listed, but you could just pick someone who does everything for you. Oh, I can't. No, you can't just pick someone who does everything for you.
So you can't pick one person who does everything. You just have to pick someone who does.
I thought he said you can just pick. I was like, I'm okay. Someone who does everything for me.
Can I answer?
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, you may.
Okay. All right. I would either pick a personal assistant / secretary person, just one, so I wouldn't have to talk to strangers on the phone. I honestly, okay. Basically to screen calls, and also...
How often do you get phone calls from strangers?
Occasionally I'll have like a wrong number, or someone who's calling me that like it's just like really official. And
you're gonna hire somebody to screen your wrong number phone calls?
Listen. Sure. They're annoying.
Wow, this might be the worst answer to one of our questions.
I'm not done yet.
Okay.
And also...
See, if you had your personal assistant, he would have shut SnoShoe down by now.
Exactly. In general, I'm not comfortable talking on the phone to people that I don't know.
Which is really funny considering we're doing a podcast right now.
I feel like I know you guys.
What about the listenership? Do you know them?
Probably.
They're not talking. First of all, yes, probably, and second of all, they're not talking back to me.
Okay.
Unlike you. So anyway, but yeah, so just anytime I would have to make an official call to make an appointment somewhere or whatever, I could just have them do it. And then also just to keep me on track, because I often lose track of what I should be doing in a day and get distracted, and then I don't get stuff done. So either that or a bodyguard, just so I could say I have a bodyguard.
Those are the two things that I feel like you would use the least.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the only other thing I could think of would be a chauffeur, except I love driving. I would way rather drive than be driven around.
Yeah.
So.
Interesting.
I feel like Slash's choice is going to be guided by the fact that he has children.
No, actually not so much.
Really?
My choice has actually already been made. I actually do pay a guy to come by and trim and mow the lawn and stuff. So
Do you call him a groundskeeper?
I don't call. I might have to start. I think he'd get a kick out of that.
It sounds so much more legit than a lawnmower.
So yeah, I would say that I have already hired a groundskeeper for the summer.
Wow.
Yeah. I hate mowing the lawn, man. I absolutely despise mowing the lawn. There's nothing more brain dead than walking back and forth pushing a piece of machinery just because grass grows and is an idiot like that.
It's growing so fast right now, too.
It is, with all the freaking rain, especially we just got a ton of rain today, but
Dude, we had 20 inches of rain last month.
Good lord!
In a month.
That's insane.
Oh yeah, I heard there was
That's
like
5
really
inches
bad
a week.
flooding in Texas and stuff.
Yeah,
recently,
it was
and like
record rainfall for the state.
Yeah.
Crazy. SnoShoe currently recording from an actual listenership.
I am.
Afloat.
If I slouch a little bit, I'll start to drown. So I have to stand up straight while I'm recording.
Yeah, but I mean, a housekeeper would be kind of cool too. But my wife and I can kind of keep up with the house most of the time. But I absolutely hate doing yard work.
Just wait till the little kid gets older, and they're gonna just wreak havoc. All three of them are gonna conspire together to burn the house down or something.
Well, I'm hoping that we've got them spaced well enough apart that the older one will actually be able to take some responsibilities and in maintaining things while the other two are trying to destroy.
I will give it up to you as a parent if that happens. I'll be very impressed. We'll see.
All right, we'll continue to monitor the situation as it develops. What about you,
As
SnoShoe?
your children age, we will find out.
Yeah, indeed. Well, who would you hire? What kind of position?
I was thinking about this the other day. Honestly, it was kind of weird because I was like, I don't hire anybody to do anything for me. I actually like mowing my lawn. I could hire a lawnmower. There's a lot of them that go around our neighborhood, but I really like mowing patterns into the grass. Am I going to do vertical or horizontal? Or last week I did diagonal.
Diagonal looks the best.
Yeah, it does, except it's a lot easier to miss spots.
Yeah, it is.
So I had a nice line of 6-inch grass that I didn't realize.
I don't know that I've ever seen anyone do diagonal.
Really?
That's interesting.
Yeah.
No, it looks pretty cool. But I have a pretty small lawn, so it's easy to do.
The way you're supposed to do it for optimum. See, this is coming from a guy who doesn't like to do it at all. But my understanding is that the best way to mow is you mow at a 45 or not even necessarily a 45-degree angle, but at a diagonal angle to your yard, and then the next time you mow, you flip it so that you're mowing across the other way, making so that you kind of make X's with the previous pattern.
Yeah.
If you've got lush enough grass, you actually can see that sort of crisscross pattern, and it looks it's the way that if you see how they like mow the green on, or not the green, but the fairway on like golf courses.
Yeah,
you will see that kind of pattern in there. Yeah, that sort of stuff. So that's
what I'm doing.
Yep.
I'm gonna do that next time. I'll have an update.
All right, excellent.
But really, I think I would hire... I know we had this conversation earlier, whether we had to pay for all these people or not. So I'm just going to assume we don't. But either way, I think it's a close race between personal chef, because that would be fantastic for somebody to plan out my meals. I don't really care about cooking them, but just tell me what I'm going to eat and go buy it for me. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Or somebody to do my laundry for me.
Oh, man, yeah. Laundry is a big problem for us, too.
Yeah, neither me nor my fiance had to worry about laundry, and we didn't have to pay for the stupid dryer. I feel like that's the biggest waste of my money, is the money I spend on natural gas for my dryer.
Yeah.
If I could just have somebody else do it and come home and like all of my stuff is neatly folded and like well kept up, that would be so great.
I hear you. It's funny, when you mentioned personal chef, I thought of a post I saw on Instagram the other day that I really identified with. The person said, I don't need a personal trainer so much as I need someone to follow me around and slap the junk food out of my hands.
I could do that. So they could hire me. We could have a business.
maybe that's the kind of person I would hire.
No, I like junk food too much. I'd get too angry if somebody did that. I'd fire them too quickly. That's our only question.
That is it. Yeah, A Million Monkeys is the only one
or...
keeping the listenership afloat lately. We need some questions from the rest of you.
We do.
Slackers.
Dang.
Sorry.
It's
okay.
No. That actually reminds me. Daughter, I was talking to Daughter about the shirts and stuff, and first of all, I asked her when she's doing the listenership shirt, and she said she'll get to it eventually. But yeah, I was talking to her, and she said that after Minecon, which I'm not definitely sure what the dates for that is. I think it's
July
in July.
4th.
Okay. Yeah, she said that she would be willing to come on the podcast after Minecon and talk with us about that, and she said she promises she'll be like less shy. So
We'll hold her to it.
there's another listenership member that'll be contributing to our content.
Huzzah! It's been
I'm
a while
down
since
with
we've
that.
had a guest. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
I wanted to get
Me
a
too.
report from Minecon. That's going to be interesting.
Indeed, I completely agree with the things that you just said out of your
Well,
mouth.
good. And on
All
that
right.
note, if we're in total agreement, let's end it.
Yep, sounds good to me. Thank you
Okay.
guys for listening.
Don't forget, Snow has to stop 10 seconds before we do.
Okay, but
Sorry, Snow, clock out. All right. And for Drew and I, thank you very
See you
much
later.
for listening, and we'll see you next episode.
Bye.